pain.
Share.
I'm Barry Yarkoni, president, and here's Lisa, a Marine who was injured in Iraq.
After surviving an explosion, I was on horrible painkillers for lingering head, shoulder, back, and knee pain. But I hated the dangers and side effects. My friend told me about 1 hour pain relief, and now I'm off the drugs.
1 hour pain relief is the result of 15 years of research on an amazing extract from hops, the plant used to flavor beer.
Whether your pain is from an injury or just
All right,
aging,
30 seconds,
you get
guys.
safe all-day relief in less than 1 hour.
We're so sure you'll love 1 hour pain relief too that we'll send you a 1-week trial for just a small shipping charge. Call 800-269-4200 right now. That's 800-269-4200. There's no gimmicks, no obligation, no automatic
Pain
shipments.
relief from hops.
Stop living with pain. Call 800-269-4200 for your 1-week trial or visit onehourpainrelief.com. That's 800-269-4200.
Doesn't that just mean that
The
they're
following
all
program
getting
does not
drunk?
necessarily represent the views or opinions of the staff, management,
We
or
should change that
ownership
though,
of
right,
this
Nikki?
station.
I don't have that power.
No.
RightPath Real Estate
Negative.
Radio with Tom Perry.
I thought you had all the
Get the answer to
power.
your question
I wish.
that's keeping you from taking action and succeeding
Since when they
today.
take your power away?
A couple days ago.
Oh, right.
Get ready. The guy that
bad
will
one.
put your fears behind you is on the air
All right,
now.
gentlemen, stand
Taking
by.
calls
There
at
we go.
713-785-1817.
All right, guys, hot mics in 5,
Toll free
4,
877-881-0271. Now here's
1.
your host, Tom Perry.
Hey, welcome to the show. RightPath Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. That's 713-785-1817. Joined live in the studio with Brandon. He's with Foundation Check. Hey, welcome to the show.
Tom, hey, guys, thanks for having me again. So it's been about a month. But,
Yeah, it has, right.
But I tell you what, things are rocking and rolling in the foundation world right now.
Yeah,
so.
you're growing. It's just getting into the if foundations were seasonal, which for investors, since they oftentimes buy properties that have foundation problems, and once a foundation problem has established itself, it doesn't cure itself that I'm aware of. There are some solutions. I've seen some creative solutions that don't involve pilings or piers, but they take a long time for. It doesn't typically work for most investors because you got to solve the problem. You want to get in and out of the deal as quickly as possible. So piers or pilings are the best way to fix those situations. But so if there were a busy season, we're probably entering it right now.
Yeah, and from what we're seeing out there in the marketplace, there's two reasons for that. Probably the first time is as a real estate investor, we're kind of moving into those summer months. Just historically, the data shows lots of movement, a lot of flip opportunities, families moving up or down the spectrum, whatever it may be. Also, in Foundation Checks business, we've seen a large number of people of owner occupieds just simply call in. They're kind of going through this spring cleaning of getting, hey, the sun's coming out, my grass is growing green, and I might need to take a look at that crack that's starting
that I've
to
been
form.
ignoring through the wintertime, right? Yeah. And there's more drought during the summertime oftentimes, and so there's more foundation movement. Go from a wet season to a really dry season. That causes a lot of expansion and contraction, and that's sticking doors and cracks in the sheetrock, et cetera. So that's the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Historically, May and June are historically our high percentage of rainfall months. That's when things really start to kind of pick up. We got hurricane season coming shortly here, but also as our temperatures picked up, so does our rainfall.
Right.
And for foundations, those usually aren't a good mix. That's where we see a lot of the moisture content start to move, and that's where foundations start to see the settling or the perch conditions, or could be a lot of different things that are going on. But that's where when water starts to move in or out of that underneath that foundation is where potential problems could start coming up.
Yeah. In fact, y'all have done a job for us just recently. Got the report back. Found that the previous foundation repair that had been done by the homeowner that we bought the house from. The homeowner had lived in the house 40. I guess the original buyers 40-something years ago because the house built in the 60s or 70s, something like that. I'd have to go back and look, but yeah, they apparently had some foundation work done, and you said it's not uncommon for people to overjack a foundation. Why does that happen?
Well, a lot of variables could go into that. I think there's two. Traditionally, we see two different factors that go into that. If a foundation company were to come out and peer the property, remember they're submitting a warranty,
right?
So in their minds, if they go up, up, up just a little bit more,
Yeah.
in theory that, hey, if this goes down a little bit, we're still going to be within tolerances.
Got it.
That can occur.
I could see that quarter of an inch, half an inch,
Sure.
things like that. But I mean, like they were up more than an inch, 4 inches in one place.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And there may be a couple different things. It could have been a bad install.
Okay.
If you're working with the reputable foundation company, and there's plenty of them here in Houston. And the majority of them won't do that, but it does occur. I mean, we saw it in this particular house we did for you. So, and I think part of the job that we did for you last is that, yes, they overjacked the house, but it was a cause and effect relationship. So, the front part of the home was lifted. That caused the back right-hand corner of the house to go downward.
Right.
And it really accelerates the foundation movement on what needs to go on. Now, the other thing about that particular house, remember, it was a 2-story home.
Correct.
I think the job we did for you about 2 weeks ago, that house we did, it passed. It was a single-family house.
Right.
You guys had selling it on an FHA loan.
Okay.
And the inspector came out and said, hey, mate, we just want to clarify this. And we're sending a lot more of that. We are seeing a lot more lenders getting involved and saying, hey, you need to have a professional engineer review the file, do the assessment, and that's what our product provides. That single-family house we did for you 3 weeks ago, it passed with no problem, and I think you guys ended up selling it and closing on it. So, but the last job we did, that house was overjacked to begin with.
Yeah.
There could have also been some swelling taking place up front of that.
Oh.
Okay, and that could have accelerated. So let's say they might have overjacked the home 1 to 2 inches.
Yep.
And then the clay soils underneath it. Simply, that clay swells up in front of the house.
Okay, got it.
So it could be a combination of different things, but also the raw weight of that home. I mean, that home was a brick veneer 2-story.
Yeah, it's a heavy house.
It's a heavy house.
Yeah.
When you have that type of structure, because it's a great structure. I love brick veneer.
Mm-hmm.
I like it better than hardy, but at the end of the day, it weighs more.
Yeah, it
so,
does.
you got to make sure you maintain that type of structure and that type of application with that type of construction.
Right.
So.
Okay. So what's the best number to reach you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. Best number to reach us is 346-702-3825 or find us online at foundationcheck.com.
Okay, so how much in advance do you typically like to be called? Where in the process do you fit? New investor?
Sure. Yeah, so what our product kind of a little bit about what we do is we'll come out to the property, we measure everything up to scale. That's the key component. That takes about an hour and a half. You've seen our product in person,
right?
You know what that kind of entails. So we go from the perimeter of the foundation, drawing it all up, and then we're also taking photos of what we're looking at. We're looking for a visual inspection. We're looking for different types of distress phenomena that may be causing the structure to move. That's a visual inspection. It could be trees, it could be poor drainage, it could be erosion control, variety of things that could go into that. And then we come inside the property and we draw the interior walls up to scale. And then once that is complete, we actually come inside and we do a raw elevation reading. We're there with the zip level, and that allows us to go back into the office with a full detailed engineered synopsis of what's going on, and we run our calculator against it. Our calculations, we run two different variables. We're looking for deflection or tilt is what we're able to measure in the foundation. So deflection is basically the waviness of the foundation, the up and down or the roller coaster.
Right.
And then tilt is where you have a relatively level slab, but it just physically may be tilting one way or the other. And so that is a true engineering calculation that we're able to present on all of our foundations and our products. So all that gets packaged up. It goes to a licensed professional engineer. That engineer actually helped develop all the systems in place that we have to accomplish for each file. And then he reviews the file and then stamps off on that, and then it comes back to us and then back to the client. Going back to your original question, how long does it take? I tell you what, we are busy right now, and usually we're able to turn that report around in about 3 days.
Right.
Unfortunately, we're running a little bit longer than that, 4 to 5 days. But Foundation Check, we've had the ability to hire a drafter and a file processor now, so we're growing our company, and that's just strictly due to demand and what Foundation Check is starting to bring to the marketplace.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So I always like it when companies that are involved with our radio show and our whole organization, that they're growing and investors are recognizing that, hey, it's one thing to go out and get 3 different bids from 3 different foundation companies and get, what the trouble is you'll get 3 different opinions.
Correct.
Because although they ultimately typically have an engineer, not on staff typically, but they'll have an engineer that kind of oversees their work, that can stamp what they're doing if they need to. But y'all actually bring an engineer in earlier in the phase,
Sure.
and it's
2
really
minutes.
it's the calculations that you do and things like that kind of make you unique. And then the other thing that I love about what makes y'all unique is that y'all aren't in the foundation repair business. So
correct.
it's a completely unbiased report.
Right.
So you're really just the person that's going to go out and take the readings and all that, and then interpret the report and give. You're really the messenger. And, I've oftentimes joked about, back in the old medieval days when you had, messengers would run and deliver messages from one kingdom to the next. And if the person, the king at the other end didn't like the message, off with his head. And
Sure.
I'm sure you run into those situations, but like, hey, look,
Yeah.
we're giving you the report. It's a little bit like the FBI guy, just the facts, ma'am, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously when you hire us, we view it as we're your eyes and ears.
Yeah, absolutely.
And traditionally we like to go out on the front side of the property,
1 minute.
where the remodel and the make ready's not been done yet.
Right.
That's the best time to get us out up front.
Okay, so you're listening to RightPath Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. That's 713-785-1817. Feel free to give us a call, and we're talking about foundations.
Mic's off, guys.
All right. Hey, Ginger, what's up? Cool.
Time is money in a real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes or binders? The agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. We're here for you. Are you a rehabber, wholesaler, buy and hold, or flipper? Bundling your properties on a single policy will help save time and money. Benchmark has been in business for over 10 years, and we insure over 30,000 properties. Contact Benchmark about our exclusive investor package. Call us and let us show you what we can do for you at 281-569-4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com. That's benchmarkbroker.com. That's 281-569-4353.
I'm trying to think of that single family
or
house we did
online
for you
at
3 weeks ago.
benchmarkbroker.com.
LT called us on it. Can't remember.
Did you know that there are over $24 trillion
I feel you.
in retirement accounts in the
I only
U.S.?
get involved
Imagine
in rare
if you could
occasions
use
when
someone's IRA to fund
am the
all
one
of your
buying.
deals.
Like I bought the
Well,
Carriage Hill house.
You can. Quest IRA is based
And,
locally here in Houston, Texas.
because
at Quest IRA,
it's next
we
door
offer
to the second
retirement
house that we ever
accounts
did.
That can be used
And
to
I bought
invest
that house.
in real estate, promissory
And then, so
notes,
when we got the
private
call,
entities,
I knew the
and
neighborhood
much
probably
more.
better than-
Many of our
Sure.
clients loan
Anybody
money
else
from
on our
their
team, since I
IRAs
bought the one
to
next
fund
door.
real estate deals all
And
over the country.
I also
we don't
bought
sell any
the Ashford
investments
Hollow
or give
house.
advice.
So those
However,
are really-
we do hold free
So
networking events.
those are two of the
weekly
last ones that I've gotten
educational
involved in.
classes,
So
and free
when I-
consultations with
when
an
I buy it,
IRA
I
specialist.
feel kinda like a
For
personal
more
connection.
information, visit
So
our website at
I'll get involved in
questira.com
the
or call
preliminary.
us at
What are we going to do? Because it's also more than $100,000 rehab.
IRAs.
So I get
To tap
involved
into
in
the
that. Like, hey, these are the
$24
decisions we're going to make in
retirement
terms of
accounts in the
design. So I
US.
typically am the
Call Quest
person that meets
IRA
with the architect, the
at
engineer, the
1-855
foundation,
Fund IRAs,
and then
or go to our
meet with Fast
website,
Track. And once it's handed over to
questira.com.
Fast Track,
Are
then
you
I
an
don't
active
have
real
to worry
estate
about it.
investor?
Sure, it's not
If
like
so,
I'm actively
a real estate
managing
attorney
it.
is a crucial member to add to your team. Contact Alert Law at 346-231-1120.
We've gone through a couple of
Alert Law serves
iterations on
clients
that
in
house
real
in
estate and
terms of
business law with principal offices in Houston and their acquisitions and dispositions. We are equipped to serve you in your residential and commercial real estate law needs. Contact Alert Law at 346-231-1120. We draft and review docs and structured transactions and represent you in disputes and litigation. Or choose one of our transaction packages to cover your sub-2, wholesale, wraps, or private financing deals. Our business and commercial services include business contracts, entity formations, and business consultations. If you need a reliable, dedicated firm to serve on your team, contact Alert Law at 346-231-1120. 346-231-1120. Paid for by Gerald Ayler, Principal Offices in Houston, not board certified by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization.
Do you have
1
cracks
minute.
in your brick, doors that stick, or sheetrock that's coming apart? Then you may have foundation movement. Due to our expansive soils in the Houston area, it's probably not a question of if you have movement, but when. Call Foundation Check for a truly independent, unbiased foundation evaluation. Foundation Check has been in business since 2009 and has completed over 1,400 evaluations. We're not in the business of repairing foundations or selling you unnecessary peer work, but we are in the business of evaluating your foundation. Our product is designed for house flippers, landlords, or even owner-occupied properties. Each of our files is reviewed by a licensed engineer. Remember to check before
All right,
ever
15
repair.
seconds.
Call 346-702-3825. Talk about That's rainfall? 346-702-3825. Like I am or you can sometimes. reach us online at foundationcheck.com. That's foundationcheck.com.
This is
All right, guys,
Business
stand by.
1110.
Hot mics in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back. RightPath Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817, 713-785-1817. During the break, we're talking about, during the break, if you're listening to us on the radio, you're not hearing all the behind-the-scenes kind of stuff. You don't hear Nikki talking in the ear. If you want to hear all of that, you can go to follow us on Facebook. You can just like our page at RightPath Real Estate. And then we go live at 9 a.m. We're rebroadcast in Dallas on AM 620 from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. So they hear the same show that we're doing live right now. And so if you're in Dallas and you're listening, we're not live there, but we're glad you're enjoying the show because we're getting feedback. I'll actually be, our next event is going to be this Thursday. I'll be in Dallas personally. We'll be at the Quest IRA location on Montford. That's up in Addison, 14860 Montford, and so we'll be there. Networking starts at 6. Event starts at about 6:30. But you don't want to miss out on the networking. It'll be a great event, and I'm going to be talking about solving for the right X. And if you don't know what that is, and you want to know what solving for the right X is, then you definitely want to show up to the event. And then our next event in Houston is going to be our RIA event on the 18th. That's going to be at the Hilton West Chase at 9999 Westheimer, and you don't want to miss that one either. So if you're in the Dallas area, come this Thursday. If you're in the Houston area, come next Thursday, and we'll see you then. So talk about rainfall. How much does a rainfall affect? Because it's interesting. You're talking about drought and things like that, and one of the things that we didn't talk in the previous section is that it's not just the fact that we have a ton of rainfall like in the springtime, but then that also, as it gets warmer, then the trees wake up because a lot of trees kind of, I won't say they go dormant in the winter, but they kind of do. They go dormant in the wintertime, right? They're not drinking as much water as they need to because most of them, especially if they're not evergreens, the leaves fall off. They don't need as much moisture. They don't need as much nutrition and all that. Then springtime comes and boom, now they've got to make all those leaves. It's going to suck up a lot of nutrition from the soil, a lot of water from the soil. And that just continues. And then thank goodness in springtime we get a lot of rain. Mm-hmm. But then once that yard soaker, as I call it, then the one that's soaking up all the moisture, the tree, we stop getting that much rainfall and the trees are still thirsty.
Yep.
So let's talk about rainfall.
Yeah, so I'm not a meteorologist, but at the same time, it's a lot. It affects Foundation Check. It affects so much what we do with our foundations here, and my goal is to educate the real estate investors and homeowners that are out there. And overall, last month, our traditional average is 3.3 inches. We were right about that mark. I mean, we're staying pretty consistent. For 2017, we're not having the big ups and downs that we've had in the past, through our torrential flooding and rainfall. So, and I would suspect that, we're a little ahead of our rainfall than traditionally where we're at, but it's not a crazy number. And then the start of May has actually been pretty light on the rainfall. So, for in general, for foundations in the Houston area, that's all good news, as we're not having the big moisture contents and the different, the different bigger swings on rainfall. So hopefully everything keeps continuing on.
It's not going to.
Well, and if not, and if it doesn't, and the soils will move, which they will, it's not a question of if.
Yeah, right.
When.
I mean, come on, it never works out that way, right? I mean, it's not when we're gonna. I mean, it's not if we're gonna have a drought, it's when, right?
Sure,
I mean, and you know what? It's I can't say that it's huge extremes, right? I mean, but it is. I mean, it's what's normal, right? It seems like that there's a cycle in life that you have ups and downs, and we have that in rainfall, right? Yep. We get too much rain sometimes, we get not enough rain other times, and it's going to happen.
Sure.
Yeah, can't get upset about it.
And you mentioned trees before, and for the audience, let's just kind of give it an idea of what maybe a medium-sized tree would take.
Yeah, describe what's a medium. When you say medium-sized tree, your medium-sized may be different than my medium-sized.
Sure. So
it's kind of like we're going to start talking about food. What a medium-sized steak? How big is that?
right, absolutely. Well, I mean, in general, I would say medium-sized tree is a tree that I can roughly put my arms around. Maybe a tree that's
you might be able to get your arms around a bigger tree than me.
So, but in general, that would be a medium-sized tree.
Okay.
If a tree that is larger than that I can maybe go halfway around, I would say that's probably a larger tree.
Right.
And I'm just talking generically. Now, a lot of it has to do with the age of the tree, the type of tree, the canopy of the tree that goes into it. But as a general rule of thumb, if you're looking at your tree out in your front lawn or at your office, and if I can get my arms around it, that's roughly, that tree could absorb upwards of 50 gallons a day. If you go to the next step above it, the larger tree, which would be, I could reach about halfway around, double me, that tree could actually get up towards of 100 gallons a day when it's fully going and the roots need everything and the leaves are blooming and the tree's growing.
100 gallons a day.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So that's what the
does it
data.
Go up from there?
It can. Bigger the tree,
the more water.
The more water. The less the tree, obviously the less the water. So we actually don't recommend cutting those trees down from an engineering and perspective.
So why is that?
Well,
so if I cut down the trees, doesn't that solve the problem?
Well, we recommend trimming the trees back because obviously they're going to take less water.
Right.
The problem is that if you have a 40-year-old house, then you may have a 40-year-old tree. Yeah. And for 40 years, that tree has been growing. It's been taking the moisture content from underneath the foundation.
Right.
And that moisture content's been consistent. Okay, so boom, that's been there for 40 years.
Yep.
The foundation and the tree have a relationship.
Symbiotic relationship.
So when you remove that tree up, that water now has no place to go because the tree's been removed.
Right.
And that could cause the moisture content underneath your foundation, in that case, to potentially swell, which is where
you're going to have heaving.
You're going to have an upward motion. You're going to have a heat potentially.
Okay.
For the smaller trees, So
let's say I've made a mistake and I've removed the tree because the tree died or something like that. Is that
sure? And when cases like that happen, then we do recommend planting a new one.
Okay.
I mean that's if you can start to repeat the process and get that moisture moving in the same direction it was before that it's been moving for 40 years.
Right.
Then try to attempt to recreate that.
Okay.
So that's. And it's not just your personal trees on your own house,
right? Yeah, it's the trees of neighbors' houses too.
If you're in the woodlands, and you got your adjacent house next to you, and they got 5-6 pines along your fence line. Yeah, all of those need to be accounted for when you're looking at your foundation for a long-term repair. And that's kind of where we come in. I mean, when we come out and we do our inspections, we do evaluations. All of our pictures, all of our field drawings, take all that into perspective on what we're looking at.
Right. Okay, so you're listening to RightPath Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817, 713-785-1817. Let's see. So Ginger, she's making a comment not about foundations, but great job, Ginger. Getting some offers made this week. Okay, congratulations. So what's the best number to reach you guys?
Sure. Best number to get a hold of us is 346-702-3825 or find us online at foundationcheck.com.
So, one of the things that we're realizing among our radio show sponsors is that because like Fast Track, for example, they were in here the Thursday of last week, and you start realizing that they're a tremendous resource of seeing what's going on in the marketplace in terms of, what other investors are doing. Because in the example that I was given Thursday last week at our RIA event is that, if a general contractor is doing, let's say, 150 jobs in a year, they're not walking 150 houses in a year. They're walking like 450 or 500 houses because they don't get every single bid that they do, because not every house that they walk does the investor end up following through and buying the house, and then they probably get, I don't know, a third, maybe 40% of the jobs that they go out on, things like that. But they're collecting a tremendous amount of data. I mean, y'all are in that same situation. So what are some of the problem areas where you see consistently foundation issues? What are some of those areas you see that more than others?
Yeah, right now with our seasonal changes as we move in, we keep
it's
talking
everywhere. Yeah.
from winter to summer, spring. Sure. So, we talked about it last show, I believe. Erosion control now. Right. Erosion control is huge because it is basically the water movement and the removal of soil, and when our ground cover is starting to change, if you've had leaves on your lawn, if you have pine straw on your lawn, when you start removing that and the grasses start to grow, we have to account where that moisture is going. Yeah. Is it going correctly? Does your lawn have the right pitch back to front to back, wherever your traditional drainage is, where that water is not pooling against the foundation. Anytime that the foundation has a pooling effect where you've got water enclosed or trapped, that's a visual inspection that says, boom, we need to address this. Yeah. So
red alert. Yeah. Got it.
And then obviously erosion control just based on the seasonality. But I mean, number one, a lot of things is trees. I mean, just the raw. We love them. They look beautiful. But just the raw necessity that they have with their moisture content and the raw, water that they need.
Yeah, so you stop and think, if you've got a large tree and it's in the front of the yard and you don't have other large trees and other parts of the yard to kind of balance out the kind of moisture draw that is taken, that if you're saying 100 gallons a day, I mean, that doesn't sound like, I know 100 gallons is a lot because, you stop and think about, filling up a 55-gallon drum or something like that, and it's two of those. Sure. But it's the compound effect that's 3,000 gallons a month. I mean, that's a lot. Sure. I mean, and then you start talking about, month in and month out. I mean, it's like, are you watering that front yard, 3,000 gallons a month? You definitely be seeing that on your water bill. And it's like, if you're not doing that, then that's just breaking even in terms of, so it's like when you get that kind of rainfall, and I think one of the issues that a lot of people don't realize is that when we get a hard, heavy rain,
2 minutes,
and maybe it drops, 3 inches in 2 hours time or something like that, the ground has a tough time absorbing that much water in that period of time. It's really, we need long, drizzles where it's like a soaking rain for it to really penetrate very deep. There's been all kinds of studies about our soil. If you lay, a soaker hose, for example, on the top of the ground and just let it takes a long time for that to absorb. It's almost like it's better to bury that soaker hose about 6 inches or so. A lot more of the water gets absorbed. And I think a lot of those kind of things, people, they think they're doing the right thing in terms of taking care of their foundation. So on the other side of the break, we want to talk about some of the preventative things that we can do if for either your own personal home, or I know you've got a lot of rental properties, and so I'd like to find out, what are you doing, because you own over 100 rental properties. What have you done as preventatives to put in place, because you don't want to face these problems over and over and over again. So it's a whole lot. An ounce of prevention, pound of cure, all those kind of things, kind of like taking care of your health. So let's talk about health of the foundation. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817, 713-785-1817.
Mike's off.
James did a renovation, pulled up tile, and there was standing water on the concrete underneath. What does that tell you? That you've got a moisture problem. Got to find the source of moisture, right?
It could be coming through the slab. Yep. But actually, I bought 2-3 houses that actually they ran the copper supply lines in the foundation.
Oh, is that right?
We don't see a lot of that in Texas.
Yeah, right. That's a northern builder, that came down here and applied what works up there down here, and that doesn't work. Yeah. Right.
So I mean, it just
to
it
maximize your investment while
Yeah.
it blows my mind. I know why the people up north do that, but I'm sitting here in Texas and I'm looking at copper supply lines underneath the foundation, and I'm just going,
We understand that investors aren't just looking for a number of what their property is worth, but a comprehensive analysis of the market.
and on one of those houses, my bill was about $800.
Oh, is that right?
In water.
9911 or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
Are you expecting to close accurately, on time, and with lots of communication on your home purchase? You've come to the right place. I'm Jennifer
We had to use
Hernandez,
sonar
Senior
and
Loan Officer with
pinged out
Legacy
the leak.
Mutual Mortgage. Our goal is to give our borrowers and referral partners
Be
an
able to get
amazing
to it,
experience
repair it,
during the
move
loan
on.
process. My team believes in putting people and culture before results. Our company concentrates on building those teams who operate with structure, process, and recognition for going the extra mile for you. This way, we have the energy to make this your best home purchase ever. Give us a call today to find out the simple steps to get started. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, the Hernandez team at Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Jennifer.legacymutual.com or call 713-579-3611. Again, Jennifer.legacymutual.com. We can't wait to consult with you soon. NMLS 514497.
Equal Housing Opportunity Lender. NMLS 514497. If you have cracks in your walls, ceilings, or floors, you may have a foundation leveling problem. Do you have doors that stick or just won't open right? Maybe you have gaps in the bricks of your fireplace. You need Green Tree Foundation Leveling, a fast, high-quality foundation leveling company.
So what
based
Green
here
Tree
in
decided to
Houston.
do is,
They
you know,
how
there's
hot it gets on the Gulf Coast.
you may not
High
have seen
summer
them. Maybe you
temperatures,
do. Maybe you see all the
heavy
reports that
rainfall,
go
and
out, but on that
clay-rich
Carriage Hill
soils are
house,
leading
you know, there's
causes of
30
foundation
interior
cracks.
piers.
If you have a cracked slab
And
or a
so
shifting
they
foundation,
decided that
call Green Tree
instead of
Foundation
creating
Leveling,
30 holes,
832-329-1687.
they're going to do like 10 holes because there's kind of a
How old
grid
is your house?
pattern.
There is.
Do one in the
Older
middle,
homes in our
and
area
then
require
they're going to dig
foundation repair
out
simply because of
to
our
those
climate and
other
soil
4
conditions.
locations and be able to
Green Tree
hit like
Foundation
4 for
Leveling
1,
provides
as
free
many
estimates
places as they
within
can.
24
Sure.
hours.
So they're not doing
They
as
repair
much
concrete
Swiss
slab
cheese
foundations
damage
and
into
pier and beam
the
homes,
structure of the
too.
foundation. Then
Experts
they're
at
also going to
Green
use
Tree
angle
Foundation
iron
Leveling
to
work
kind of,
fast and
or a
offer
lintel or whatever you call it,
competitive
to
rates, even a
help support
lifetime
the structure of the
transferable
foundation when
warranty.
they're doing their
Call
lift. So I thought that was a good idea.
832-329-1687 to schedule an
So are
appointment
they
with Green
cutting?
Tree
They're using
Foundation
concrete saw
Leveling.
to cut the foundation to each point.
No. So they're gonna do one big round hole.
Okay.
So and then so like let's say that you've got,
furniture, yard waste, trash.
you know, because it's a lot of this, right?
That yeah.
So they're going to try and dig there, for example, and hit
that does not require a permit for hauling.
there
Apartments,
to
attic,
dig out
garage,
underneath the slab.
Oh, they're going to tunnel.
They're going to tunnel from that one hole, yeah. That way they're not creating Swiss cheese and then they're
Absolutely.
because to do that many holes,
provide you with free
and
estimates.
I think it's going to be more work for them to tunnel like that, but they're willing to do that so that they're not creating Swiss cheese out of the concrete.
Yeah, and that's a good solution.
Yeah.
You know, for concrete and also to make sure that the stability of the slab
Yeah.
long term is
Right.
not. I mean, the more holes
Not
you put
compromised,
in,
right? That's what
you
they were
know,
worried about.
So yeah. So the ability to tunnel like that, I mean, that makes perfect sense. And we've done that before, predominantly from the exterior.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, but
Our products
you can
and
do
approval
that.
process are
So-
unique in the Houston marketplace.
Yeah.
First of
20
all,
seconds.
I was
we go
excited
based
about
on
that.
The asset alone. That means no credit minimums, no income requirements, and no reserve minimums. Second, we have short-term loans for fix and flips and several long-term options for rental properties. Since we're asset-based lenders, everyone is approved. Check out Investor Loan Source at ils.cash. That's ils.cash.
All right, guys, stand by.
All right, we're going to take a break.
Whatever. All right, hot mics. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back. RightPath Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. You can put your fear of investing behind you and give us a call, or actually, show up to one of our events. Because, you know, my business partner Jason and I, we've bought, fixed, and flipped over 300 houses in the last 3 years in Houston Spires. We've done about another 100 houses in sellusyourhouse.com. So we've been kind of busy wholesaling out of sellusyourhouse.com, buy, fix, and flip. A little bit of wholesaling and some buy and hold as well in Houston Spires. So we've done a few deals, and so that gives us some experience. People ask us, how did we do it so fast? Those kind of things, and so that's led to us doing some real estate education. So if you want to give us a a call. Put your fear of asking questions behind you. You can do that. And also, I'm joined live in the studio with Brandon. He's the owner of Foundation Check. And so, what's the best number to reach you guys?
Sure, absolutely. The best number is 346-702-3825. That's 346-702-3825. Or find us online at foundationcheck.com.
Okay, so James, instead of calling in, he is following us live on the Book of Faces, so he can see our video as well as our audio. And he asked a question. He said they did a renovation and pulled up tile, and there was standing water on the concrete underneath. What does that tell you? And my answer to that is that you've got a moisture issue. Sure. Now, it's kind of like, when you have a water stain in the sheetrock in the ceiling. There's really only 3 sources of water up above, right? And it's either going to be you've got a roof leak, or you've got a drain line for the air conditioning system or something air conditioning related. That's an issue. Or you've got a supply line issue, right? Those are really the only 3 sources of moisture. Unless you get somebody storing jugs of water upstairs or something like that, and they tip over. But under the normal circumstances, really 3 sources: roof, air conditioning, or supply line. Mm-hmm. Underneath, it's kind of the same thing. You've either going to have a drain line problem. Now, what I'll say is it's not common for us to build supply lines into the foundation. Correct. Although, every now and then, that happens pretty common in northern states where they have basements and things like that. They'll run the supply lines, in the roof of the basement, right? Which would be kind of like our foundation. We don't do that here. Correct. And especially with new installations with PEX and things like that, I know code says you have to insulate it, although PEX doesn't freeze, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. But hey, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, and technology advances faster than the codes and all that. So be that as it may, so insulate your PEX because that's what they tell you to do, even though you don't need to. But so when you're looking at water from a foundation, it's either got to be an irrigation issue, so it's the way that the water is being channeled. In fact, we looked at a property up in I think it was Brenham. Mm-hmm. And it was a really nice property, and this investor had bought the property, done some remodeling, and what they had done is they had closed in this downstairs, what had been a garage, they made it a living area. And anytime that it rained, not a fast, quick, like 3 inches in 2 hours kind of rain. It wasn't that kind of rain. It didn't happen all the time. But if you got maybe 2 or 3 inches over a 4 or 5 hour period of time, maybe an 8, it was just constant raining, just a slow, then it would start to flood. And I started thinking, why would it flood with one type of rain but not the other type of rain? And one of my big red flags was when I typically ask people when they're selling, hey, what do you do for a living? Those kind of, I'm sure you do that too because you're a sales guy. Turns out this guy was an irrigation landscaper. And I'm like, this is a irrigation issue. Why haven't you fixed this thing? And what I came to what I discovered is there was an underground river, spring, whatever you want to call it, that ran through his house. So what would happen is how quickly the water levels of a river can rise, right? Mm-hmm. But in a river, you actually see it. Well, I started looking at the topography. There was this drainage river that it was across the street. You could see it was above ground, but then it ran underground, and it ran right underneath his house. So the water level would rise. How are you going to reroute a river? Yeah. And so some problems aren't fixable. So you have to look at, if you've got water that is underground in a situation like that, there's only 2 situations. It's an irrigation issue, or you've got a drain line issue. Sure. Those are, I can't think of any other solutions other than that. Yeah, I mean, and that kind of, there's 2 things I would add to that. Maybe drainage, which is also irrigation. Yep. Drainage, we just bought a house where, very similar in a garage situation. Yep. The back part of the house is high. Yep. The drainage of that particular lot's back to front. Yep. And so literally hits that corner of the garage, right? It hits the corner of the garage, and realize elevations and slabs are designed for garages to be traditionally 3 to 4 inches above. Usually when you go in the garage, you step down. Correct. And so, in that case, this particular house, we're going to have to go in there and we're going to have to apply some drainage measurements. Right. We're going to move some soils around. Probably going to have to create some good quality French drains. Yep. Get the water moving back around the house because right now it's overgrown. Right now the soils have just been hitting the back of the house. Yep. And what happens is just like a dam, like a beaver dam, when that soil hits the back of the house, it's physically stacking up. Yep, it's building up higher and higher and higher. And then obviously the moisture content
goes through that dirt into your garage
Yep.
and so forth. So there could be potentially a couple different ways to look at that. I would also add in sewer pipes to that. Obviously, a
Which
lot
are
of
drain lines. That's what I'm talking about.
Which are
Yeah,
drain lines
right,
too.
sure,
So,
right.
I think those in that particular case in this question, probably I would look at both of those factors
Right.
and see what's going on. So.
Yeah, so to hire a plumber to be able to go and put a camera through the drain lines to find snake the drain lines and put a camera to find out where.
Yep, camera works good. Most people will first do a hydrostatic test a little cheaper traditionally.
Yep, sure. Great place to start.
With a lot of our reports, we do recommend if you do end up doing pier work, a hydrostatic test, and most foundation repair companies will tell you start there just to make sure that the lift, either your foundation or your plumbing was already broken to begin with, or when they did the lift,
Chicken or an egg, right?
that it could have damaged it as well. There are a lot of things that go on, especially with us and the older homes. They're going to have the cast iron, and they're not going to have the flexible PVC that you see in newer construction. So.
Yeah. The flexible PVC. Ever tried to bend PVC? It's not all that flexible. It is more so than cast iron. It's a relative term, right? Back to the how big of an arm can you stick around the trees, right?
Very good. Yep.
Yeah. So how much lift have you experienced that you can raise the foundation without? I mean, because let's face it, if you're going to raise it 4 inches, it's definitely gonna. I mean, I'm gonna say 100% of the time it's gonna break the underground plumbing, right?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, our recommendations and our engineering specs, our slabs are traditionally designed to move 3/4 of an inch. That's kind of the highest that they can move from up to down or back to front, depends on how you want to look at it, to be within the post-tension slabs.
Okay.
That's what they're designed. Any more than that, any more stress than that, any more weight that's added to that, you're going to have potential problems. So in regards to your sewer pipes, I mean, it literally is. It depends on the lift. It depends on what age home you're in.
What's the largest lift that you've ever seen that didn't break pipes?
That did not break pipes. Well, we break pipes quite often. If done correctly, I've seen upwards of 2 inches without it being broken.
Okay. So you've never seen a 3-inch lift that didn't break pipes.
There's just not much. There's not that much play in it,
right.
And especially you're looking at the materials they used back in the 70s and the 60s.
Yeah.
It's just a different type of material that's not designed to what new construction is nowadays. So.
Yeah. Because I know in this house that we're doing in Carriage Hill. Now, the good news is, excuse me, most of the area that we're doing the lift, it's in the interior.
Right.
So there's in fact, you know what? That just made me think, because the back left corner is the highest place. It's 4 inches, right? Mm-hmm. And there's a bathroom back on that side, and I wonder if there's already a drain line problem that's causing heaving over there.
It could. I'd have to have the report. Is there a driveway on that side?
There is.
Yeah. So we see driveways right next to foundations.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Can be problems.
Yep.
Because we don't. It's tough to control water on concrete.
Yeah, of course, right. Yeah, it's going to go where it's going to go, right.
Yeah, so,
and that driveway, it doesn't look like that there's much structural steel in the driveway, and so it looks like that it's failed, and it's kind of high in the middle and sloping towards the house on at least half of the driveway.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's creating more moisture over on that side.
And could produce a swell and so forth. But, yeah, I think that particular house, I still go back to over-peering, overjacking.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of that, right. So, okay. So you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. Yeah, James is saying he's praying for no rivers. And, I would say that's a very, as many houses as we've bought, because we've bought, fixed, and flipped, 300 houses, and we probably only buy about one out of every 5 that we go and walk. So that means we've walked 1,500. So that's a very unusual situation to run into that. I mean, I think I've personally walked, 2,000 or 3,000 houses, something like that. You're probably in that same range. I know between what I walked for Fast Track and then what I've done for Houston House Buyers, and it's a big number. And I've only run into that once, so it's not like you're going to run into that very frequently. And then I talk to I talk to people that have walked, more houses than me, and they go, "Yeah, I've never run into that at all." It's not very common.
And from an investor standpoint and remodeler, which I've done a few, there is a potential fix for that problem. They do have roll-on moisture barrier that you physically, if it's in a garage, you can roll that on, and then come in with.
Is it that same stuff that they make a boat out of screen?
Flex Seal, similar type process.
Yeah.
But once that membrane goes on, you can actually come in a particular in a garage, because I have done this a couple of times. You can come in and put a concrete cap on it.
Yep.
And that effectively will raise the floor a little bit.
Sure.
And
because you got the membrane that really is not very thick at all, but then
correct.
the concrete, the thickness of the concrete that you put on.
That's correct. So in theory, for that type of application for your river underneath your garage, that may be a formidable solution that I have used in the past, and to my knowledge, that has held, and that was the best solution at that particular time for that house. So.
All right, you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. See you on the other side of the break.
Mic's off.
All right, thank you. Yeah, James, I'm gonna bet that it's either an irrigation issue. You have to look at the slope, and if you're in Houston, then I'd call Foundation Check and have them come out, because they're going to look at the elevation front to back and left to right and all that, and then the other thing I'd look at is drain lines. So. Drain lines would probably be the first place I'd look.
Investor
Hydrostatic
loans
test
offering
would be a
up
great
to
place to
100%
start.
financing
And if you've
are
got
still available.
good pressures,
You just have to know where to look.
then-
Look no
then-
further than
And
Noble
with our
Mortgage.
report of what he's
Noble
talking
Mortgage is a
about,
full-service
we'll be able to
mortgage
tell
company that's been helping investors
where
since
that
2003.
elevation
Noble
is at in that
Mortgage
particular
offers up to
area.
100%
But also, if he's on
financing to
Facebook listening, he
investors
can
that
maybe tell us if
covers
it's
purchase,
close to the
repairs, and
edge or
closing
more
costs.
towards the middle of the house.
In addition to private money, Noble Mortgage
But
offers
with our product
conventional
and our
loans,
check
FHA,
and our
even
evaluation,
no
we can
income
tell you where
documentation
that
loans for
water is
both
pooling at.
residential
And it may
and
be
commercial
pooling due to
properties.
drainage,
Call and ask
but it
about our
also, he
5-point
may have a
guarantee,
perch
which
condition where it's
includes
starting to
free
loses stability, where
pre-qualifications
he's
within
seeing
2
it
business
sink.
days.
Yeah, right.
Call 713
which makes it worse, yeah.
8100
We won't know until
or visit
we get out there and take a look at the
noblemoney.com.
data.
Yeah.
That's noblemoney.com. Our team has over 50 years experience in the mortgage industry. Call us today, 713-680-8100.
So we'll answer that, and then also talk. I still want to get back to the question about what areas are you seeing the most movement and all that.
8203 Willow Place Drive, Houston, Texas, 77070.
You found or inherited a great investment property. Problem is, you don't know how much it's worth, or more importantly, what to do to maximize your investment while mitigating risk. This is exactly why we started Next Gen Appraisals. Next Gen is a group of appraisers specializing in investment real estate. We understand that investors aren't just looking for a number of what their property is worth, but a comprehensive analysis of the market. Give Next Gen a call at 713-346-9911 or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
I had a bank appraiser ask me,
are you
what
looking
does
for an
ARD
investor-friendly
stand for
general
this past week?
contractor for your investment property?
Fell
Then
out of
call
my chair.
Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at
I feel like an investor named Ronnie Moore.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey
No.
remodeling
No,
of
not yet.
single-family investment properties. Whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab, we manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects, which has helped us to create our 3 keys to success. Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done, train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right, and complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself, no more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992. Again, that's 832-742-9992, or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Virtuoso Graphics is not your ordinary sign shop. We're your one-stop shop for all your signage and graphics needs. We are located in the Galleria area and have been in business for over 13 years. We offer a wide variety of signage products, including Bandit, aluminum, and ADA compliant signs to 3D letters. Need something printed? We can get that done.
Yeah, we can talk
too.
about also,
From
what I'm doing in my
outdoor
rental
banners to
houses.
business cards and
Maintain the
anything in
foundations.
between.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Take advantage of our laser
Keep in mind, we've got
services.
3 minutes getting
We
back.
custom
Short
engrave
one.
many
Yes,
products
3 minutes,
available through our
but,
catalogs or
yeah.
your own personal
We
items.
have a caller.
From
we
large
do?
orders to small, we can accommodate your specific
That'll take a
needs.
priority.
We pride
Yeah,
ourselves on
Tommy
customer
from
service
Houston,
and work
and we
one-on-one
have
with
less than a
customers
minute.
to make sure they
All right.
get a good quality product. Come to our showroom to browse our many samples to get you inspired. Want your business to get noticed? Give us a call at 713-623-4425 or visit our website at virtuoso-graphics.com.
Investor Loan Source is Houston's premier investor loan company. Our products and approval process are unique in the Houston marketplace. First of all, we loan based on the asset alone. That means no credit minimums, no income requirements, and no reserve minimums. Second, we have short-term loans for fix and flips and several long-term options for rental properties. Since we're asset-based lenders, everyone is approved. Check out Investor Loan Source at ils.cash. That's ils.cash.
All right, fellas, stand by.
This
All right,
is
guys, don't
Business
forget about Tommy.
1110.
All right, hot mics in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back. RightPath Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. This is our short segment. We're going to get straight to the phones. We've got Tommy on the call, calling from Houston. Welcome to the show, Tommy.
Hey, Tom. Thanks for taking my call. I had a couple of questions regarding the weekend retreat that's coming up.
Yes?
One, I was trying to see if there was a written agenda or schedule. I don't know that I'm going to be able to make the whole thing.
Yeah, let's do this. Give me a call offline, okay, off the radio show, because that's a great question. All of those are going to be great. Send an email to support@RightPath Real Estate, because I want to finish up with foundation check. We've got a couple things we want to cover with that, but I definitely want to make sure that I get your questions answered. Okay, so send an email right now to support@rightpathrealestate.com.
Okay.
All right, thanks so much. All right, so back to, what do you do? You've got over 100 rental properties. What do you do as a preventative?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the biggest thing as a landlord,
yes,
is to fix it on the front side as best as possible.
Yeah.
On our repairs, we traditionally, remodel the structure, whether it's roof, AC, foundation, take care of the bigger ticket items for longevity of the foundation, or for the home. In regards to the foundation, there's a couple things that we try to stay tried and true on. If we suspect that there's a problem with the erosion, drainage, whatever it may be, we like to employ, moisture content's the biggest. Mm-hmm. And a low cost effective approach is using soaker hoses.
Yeah.
So in our lease structure, we actually require our tenants to turn on the water twice a week,
yeah,
and make sure those soaker hoses stay moisture content, because that's really going to help the foundation. The majority of
you've provided the soaker hose, you've placed them around the property correctly and all that kind of stuff. Have you buried them, or are they on top of the ground?
No, they're on top of the ground, because we want that leaching effect all the way through. So also with the cheaper hoses, if you put them in the ground, they tend to get tore up a lot easier, and just they need to be 5 feet. They need to be 5 feet away from the foundation, so you get that leaching effect. So the other thing that we do is all of my rental properties, we try to go out and at least measure the house about every 2 to 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
If we come out, we measure your slab on the front side, and then you get involved in our rental program, there is a discount for later when we go back out and remeasure your foundation.
Okay,
because and that's as long as we don't have to regenerate an engineering stamp.
Correct.
Okay, but if we're just doing the raw
updating measurements,
that's correct. If we're updating measurements, we'll tell you, hey, 3 years from now, let's say you guys put a tenant in it, and then you call me 3 years from now, and we did the front side foundation check.
Right.
We're going to be able to get
because
you
you already
that
got the drawings done and all that kind of stuff. Right. Sure.
Absolutely. So that's a $200 discount off of that.
Right.
So also, let's talk a little bit about pricing. I know we haven't had a chance to get to the show, but for the RightPath listeners, it's a $100 discount. Traditionally, it's $750 for our comprehensive report, our AutoCAD drawing, the scale, and then our stamped engineered letter. So it's $650 for the RightPath audience.
Yeah.
Just got to mention you guys' name, or even your mastermind students.
Right.
And all that goes in there. And then if you use our landlord program later on, then that's when that $200 discount even comes off further later down the road.
Fantastic. Okay, so you've been listening to RightPath Real Estate Radio. You've been joined live in the studio with Brandon. He's with Foundation Check. And what's the best number to reach you guys?
Sure. Best number is 346-702-3825, or find us online at foundationcheck.com.
All right, and Jason will be in the studio live tomorrow, so thanks for enjoying the show. Have a great day, guys. Thanks, Nikki.